Hi, Pastor Mark Jeske here for Time of Grace. The answer to an obvious question: who is God? Everybody thinks he or she knows the answer to that, and people very cheerfully are willing to construct a religious philosophy that agrees with them, that they think reasonable, that they think that they can buy into. Ironically, that's a terrible idea. The very first thing God says about himself when he reveals himself to Moses and when he reveals himself to the people of Israel in his 10 instructions, his 10 words, his 10 commandments is don't make idols for yourself. Don't you construct something that you think believable. Instead, pay attention to what I say. Pay attention to what I've done. And the key to understanding that is to realize that God describes himself as a paradox. A paradox is a set of statements that seemingly contradict each other, but I put it to you that you will never fully grasp the message of God's identity and his work unless you get your arms around that paradox and cheerfully decide to believe both of those statements. And they are stated for Moses in the book of Exodus in chapter 34 more clearly than anywhere else I can think of in the Bible. Moses wanted to know God more closely, wanted to get close to him, even close enough to see him. And God said, well, not yet. The time is not yet right for you to see me face to face. But I will pass by you, and I'll proclaim my name to you. I'll explain who I am to you. You ready? Pay attention. This is for us as well. Exodus 34. The Lord passed in front of Moses, proclaiming, the Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger and abounding in love and faithfulness, maintaining love to thousands and forgiving wickedness, rebellion, and sin. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. That's a paradox, isn't it? Does God punish sin or forgive sin? Who is God? The answer is yes to both. And it all comes together on the cross. For there on Calvary, God had it both ways. He punished sin by putting his anger on his Son Jesus, God's Son, our Savior. And in this way, simultaneously, he could forgive our iniquity, rebellion, and sin by taking the holiness of Jesus and putting it on us. It's free to those who believe it. Believe it. That paradox is true. For Time of Grace, I'm Pastor Mark Jeske.